close your eyes and imagine a moment when you're completely alone. There's no noise, no distractions, no one around, just you. The room is silent, but it's not a comfortable silence. It's heavy, almost oppressive. You feel a presence. No, it's not someone else. It's something inside of you, a voice you can't ignore. What do you do when no one is watching you? I'm not talking about what you show the world, not the image you carefully construct to fit in. I'm talking about those raw, authentic moments when there are no judgments, no witnesses, no consequences. It's just you and the decisions you make in privacy. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it with total honesty. Not to me, but to yourself. Who are you in those moments? Not who you pretend to be, not who you wish to be, but who you really are. There's a part of you, one you might prefer not to look at too closely, a part that emerges in those moments of solitude when the lights are off and the masks fall away. Those little actions you take, those decisions you make when you think no one is looking, are they a reflection of the person you claim to be or something else? Maybe you've never thought about it before, or maybe you've avoided doing so because facing that part of you requires courage. It requires admitting that we're not always who we appear to be. But here's the truth. What you do when no one is watching doesn't just matter. It's the only thing that matters. Imagine this: a dark night, an empty street, the sound of your footsteps echoing on the asphalt. You see something on the ground, something that shouldn't be there, a wallet. You pick it up, open it, and inside there's money, lots of money, enough to solve problems, to fulfill dreams. But there's also an ID, a name, a face. No one is watching you. No cameras, no witnesses. What do? Do you take the money and walk away? Or do you return the wallet? It's easy to answer now, while you're comfortable, while everything is hypothetical. But the real answer is in what you would do if you were actually there, in that moment. Because what you choose doesn't define how you want others to see you. It defines who you are deep down inside. Let me take you further. Have you ever had a thought that scared you? An impulse that surprised you because of how dark it was? You didn't say it, you didn't act on it, but it was there in your mind, if only for an instant. We all have those moments. We all carry inside shadows that we prefer to ignore. But in solitude, when there are no rules, no eyes on us, those shadows become louder, more real. There's nowhere to hide, no excuses, just your reflection in the mirror. Do you like that reflection? Or would you prefer to look away? Because here's the scary part. You can't escape from yourself. You can fool the world. You can build a perfect facade. But at the end of the day, there's always someone watching you, yourself. The weight of that internal gaze is overwhelming, which is why many prefer not to face it. It's easier to live on the surface, surrounded by noise, distractions, and external validations. But that doesn't change the reality. Because at the end, the only thing that matters is not how others see you, but how you see yourself. What you do in those moments of absolute privacy, when you think no one is watching, is not just actions. It's the pieces that build your true character. Now I'll ask you another question. Imagine that everything you do in solitude is projected out into the world. Suddenly, all those actions, all those thoughts become visible to everyone, would you feel proud or ashamed? That thought is disturbing, right? But it shouldn't be. Because if you live according to what you really are, without masks, without appearances, that transparency wouldn't be a threat. It would be liberating. It's not about being perfect. We all have shadows. We all make mistakes. But what matters is recognizing those shadows, facing them, and choosing who you want to be. Not for others, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, when the lights go out and the world falls silent, the only thing left is you and the person you've chosen to be. And that choice, that truth, is the only thing that matters. I want you to reflect for a moment. Don't get distracted. This moment is only for you. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing, because this space we're creating here has no rules other than one: be honest with yourself. And now ask yourself, are you truly satisfied with what you do when no one is watching? It's curious, isn't it? During the day, in the routine, in interactions with others, we build a version of ourselves that we believe is acceptable, admirable even. But in absolute privacy, when there are no spectators, no applause, no criticism, what remains is pure authenticity. And that authenticity isn't always pleasant. Those little moments of solitude are like an invisible mirror that reflects a much rawer version of our true essence. It's then that the decisions that truly matter emerge. But why does what we do in privacy matter so much? Because there, and only there, our actions are not contaminated by the desire for approval. We don't act to please others. We don't follow rules imposed by society. In those moments, our decisions are nothing more than a reflection of our internal values. It's there where our character is defined, where we discover whether we're truly who we say we are, or if we've been living in a carefully constructed lie. Psychology offers us a fascinating perspective on this topic. Studies like the Milgram experiment or the Stanford prison experiment have shown us something disturbing. People can act in ways they never imagined when they are under pressure, or when they are given absolute power. But what if that absolute power doesn't come from an external authority, but from the complete freedom that solitude offers? What would you do with that freedom? Because here's the key. The true test of who you are is not in what you do when there are rules, but in what you choose to do when there are none. Let me tell you something you probably already know, but that you may have never looked at head on. No one is born a good person. Being good is not a state. It's a choice that is made again and again, every day, every moment. And what you do in those moments of solitude, when no one is watching, are the bricks with which you build that choice. It's not about what others think of you. It's not about how many people applaud you or criticize you. It's about whether, at the end of the day, you can look at yourself in the mirror and be at peace with what you see. But this doesn't end here. There's something else we must face. The fact that we don't always do the right thing. No one does. We've all had moments when we chose the easy, selfish path, the one that benefits us, even though it hurts others. And that's normal. We are human. But what really matters is not falling. but what we do after we fall. Do you justify yourself? Do you hide behind excuses? Or do you use those mistakes as an opportunity to grow, to learn, to be better? Because here's the deepest truth of all. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are not defined by your worst moments. You are defined by what you do afterward, by how you choose to act when life gives you the opportunity to redeem yourself, to correct the course, to become a better person. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be aware. And now we come to the crucial point. All of this is not about carrying a constant weight of guilt or regret. It's about understanding that every day, every moment is an opportunity to choose who you want to be. Not for the world, not for others, but for yourself. What you do when no one is watching is not a curse. It's a gift. It's the purest proof that you always have the capacity to choose. And in that choice lies your true freedom. So in the end, the question is not whether what you do in solitude matters. You already know that. The real question is, what will you do with that solitude from now on? Will you use it to build the best version of yourself or to feed your shadows? Because even though the world may never see it, you will always know. And that truth, even if silent, is the one that will accompany you every day of your life. Now, I invite you to look inside. Don't seek immediate answers. Don't try to justify yourself. Just listen to that voice that has always been there, even though sometimes you'd rather ignore it. Because in that voice, in that internal truth, is everything you need to know. In the end, what you do when no one is watching not only defines you, it also frees you. And now we come to the end of this journey. We've explored the shadows. We've uncovered that part of us that reveals itself in solitude. It hasn't been easy. I know looking inside never is. But here we are, you and me, facing those truths we often prefer to ignore. I want to leave you with one last reflection. What you do when no one is watching not only defines who you are, but also who you can become. Because every decision, no matter how small, is a step toward your future. You decide whether it will be a future you feel proud of or one you'd rather forget. Now, I want you to do something for me. Write this phrase in the comments. I am more than I appear, even to myself. Do it not just as a reminder, but as a commitment to yourself. A commitment to live authentically, not for others, but for you. Because in the end, that is true freedom. If this video made you reflect, if it touched you in any way, subscribe to Psyche Nomad and activate the notification bell. Here, we explore topics that challenge us, confront us, and invite us to grow. Share this with someone who you think needs to hear this, because you never know who might be looking for answers. Thank you for staying until the end. Always remember, in your most intimate decisions lies your true power. See you in the next video.